All right, so there's a sense, you hear sometimes people saying, well, you can't change the future, all right? And this is the idea of fate. And it's a very old idea, and it's rather, it's sort of easily dispelled, but it's one that people had a problem with, the idea that maybe God could see the future and somehow the future was written or somehow fated. Well, I don't know. I aim to demonstrate this by showing you God's four-dimensional history of the universe here, which I swiped and have to return. But so this all of the universe's history is written in this scroll, okay, and the past and the future, because God's eternal and can see all of time at once. And so this thing sort of unrolls, and time goes the long way along the paper. So we can see what happens in the past and in the future if we just sort of crank through this thing. So I don't know, there's the Big Bang, it looks like. Okay, so there's the formation of matter. And galaxies are beginning to form. It's very long ago. There's our galaxy. Looks familiar. Stars. Yeah, there's the sun. Okay. There's the sun, and planets are beginning to form. And there's the Earth. The Earth has formed. There's the seas. And in the sea, it looks like there's molecules forming, chemical action, cells. Life emerges, various different sea animals, and the first emergence of life onto the land, and then we have the dinosaurs, and the appearance of man, a very important thing here, something new, humans and the ancients, beginning of civilization here, there's the Greeks. And it looks like we're up to the present time. Okay, now, I have it on good authority that the next event here is actually tomorrow. That tomorrow there's going to be somebody at the cafe who's going to be choosing between coffee and tea. Okay, and it's written, it's fated that they will make some kind of a choice. And you can see actually into their minds that they're making a rational decision. Okay, you can see the gears turning, etc. So they're acting, their mind's acting in a way that you'd expect someone to act as if they're making a rational decision. They're considering the consequences, how much do I want to pay, etc. And then finally they will make a decision, and they decide to get tea, okay, rather than coffee. So is this person free? I mean, since it's fated by God's view of the universe in four dimensions that they're going to choose tea rather than coffee, they could not have done otherwise. They couldn't choose in a way that would change the fate of the universe. But does that make sense? I mean, is that something that we should be worried about? Well, all right, it doesn't make sense because in this case, we're taking God's viewpoint rather than ours. God's outside of time, we're inside time. So it doesn't make sense for us to say something like, you can't change the future because, you acting are your future. It's not as if the future is separate from you and you're sort of bumping into it. It's not like there's a conflict there. When you say you can't change the future, you're mixing up the perspective inside and outside of time, and it's sort of nonsense. We shouldn't worry about things like that. Let's just check and see what happens in the far future. Okay, it looks pretty optimistic. All right, so now we can consider a somewhat more serious question that people have been discussing for literally thousands of years. And it's the issue is, well, how could we have something from within time and from within the universe that would already make the future kind of a done deal, like it was here, but it's a mechanism that that sort of is the universe's own internal fating mechanism. Well, okay, there's a concept called determinism, and determinism. Let's see. All right, determinism is this concept that says all actions are determined ahead of time by the conditions that preceded them. Okay, and so it's a recognition that there's the world is built out of little elements, little atoms, for instance, that obey very precise physical laws, and each atom is connected to the next one through cause and effect. All right, and so you can say that if you affect one of these little atoms, it's going to have a chain of causation that's going to result in some change in some other one, and the laws by which these operate are absolutely fixed. So now, okay, what if we're made of these atoms, and our actions reduced to the sort of the machinations of these little atoms, okay? And according to very specific physical laws, well, then our actions are in some sense the mechanical sort of cranking through of some sort of machine that is obeying the laws of nature. And this kind of mechanistic view is one that says, well, but if that's true, if our actions are determined by these endless chains of cause and effect, then what we do isn't up to us, it's up to the laws of nature. It's up to sort of the universe just making atoms clatter together, and it's just an illusion to us that we have free will. We can't change the laws of nature, and that's why we can't act differently from the way we do. And actually the way people express this is, if you ran the universe back, let's say you made a wrong decision, you think, what if I had done differently? Well, if you ran the universe back like a DVD or something, and then played it again with every atom in place, you'd make exactly the same decision, because your decision is the result of the cranking through of these little atoms, right? Anyway, what this results in is the sense that free will is an illusion, and we should maybe get rid of that concept. But no, it's too valuable, and I'm gonna suggest a couple ways that we might rescue free will from this dilemma.